Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 41 of the Drop It podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishment. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo, and 5 years ago, I lost 110 pounds after a lifetime of losing weight and gaining it back on every single bullshit, restrictive, and fad diet you have ever heard of. I have tried them all. So if you're looking to lose weight and actually keep the weight off in a way that isn't a pain in the ass and isn't something that's at the forefront of your mind that requires you to be obsessed and just sucks the soul out of you forever, then you're in the right place, and I'm sure you're going to find this show very helpful for you. Welcome again. Today we're talking about morning routine, and this is a hot topic for me because I woke up at 4:30 this morning, and I've been making some changes to my morning routine recently that I feel really good about. The biggest change that I made was 2 weeks ago. I stopped drinking coffee, and I was never that big of a coffee drinker. I started drinking coffee maybe a year ago, and I have 1 or 2 coffees a day around 10 or 11 in the morning. A couple weeks ago, I stopped drinking coffee and I switched to cacao. Cacao is what chocolate is made out of. And it has 5 or 10 milligrams of caffeine, so like 3% the caffeine a coffee does. But it gives you an energy that feels less jittery. It feels more like from your body and less from your head. And it feels sustained and it feels like there's no crash. There's all of this data recently showing that you're not supposed to drink coffee right when you wake up. You're supposed to wait 90 minutes or 2 hours or something. And for me, I want to wake up and have that morning ritual. So doing that with cacao instead of coffee has been a real game changer for me. If you're struggling with drinking a lot of coffee, caffeine addiction is a tough thing to work through, but you absolutely can. I didn't have a coffee addiction in that way, but I do promise that when you stop drinking coffee and you make it through that first initial few days and transition to something like cacao, it feels way gentler. You're still going to be able to focus. You're also going to sleep way better. So this is all a hot topic for me because my morning routine is ever changing, or it's going through quite a bit of change the last couple weeks. And waking up really early has been such a game changer for me. It's changed the way that I feel throughout the day. It's changed the way that my weeks are structured. It's changed my mood. It's changed my consistency is higher than it was before, and everything just feels really good. My body feels really good as well. When I look back on my morning routine from when I was fat as fuck and really my entire life, there was always a lot of inconsistency, except on the work days. So on a weekday, I would wake up I'd have to be working at 7:30. So I'd wake up at 6:50. So I had 40 minutes to get ready for work and drive to work. It was a 15-minute drive. And that was really stressful. So I'd just wake up, I'd snooze my alarm for 5 minutes. Who relates to this, right? Think about your morning routine as I'm telling this story. I'd wake up and I'd snooze my alarm for 5 minutes. Then the alarm would go off. And I was just immediately hit with dread. Just, well, fuck. This morning sucks. And I'm tired. And I don't want to go to work. And oh my God. And now I don't have time to make breakfast. So I better just get something. I don't have time to get something, so I'm just going to get something delivered. And you just rapidly brush your teeth, put your clothes on, and get out the door already failing, like already behind. You've already fucked up the whole flow of the day. You're starting from a really negative place because you're snoozing your alarm. You're saying no to the world. The alarm went off and the world is ready for you. And you said, nope, not right now, world. I need 5 more minutes in bed. That was my entire life. And then I'd get to the weekends and I'd sometimes sleep till 11 o'clock or noon on the weekends. And then wake up and stay awake super late. And then the next weekend day, Sunday, wake up at 11 o'clock or noon. And then I would stay up really late on Sunday. And then Monday would come and I'd be sleep deprived. And I'd sleep 5 to 6 hours a night on the weekdays. And then 10 to 12 hours per night on the weekends. And what this was doing was building a lot of inconsistency in my body, in my sleep rhythm, but also just a lot of inconsistency in my mind and my consistency of how I was showing up to life day to day. And when I started losing weight in 2019, the first thing I did was I just set a time that I was going to wake up at. So I don't remember. I've changed the time all the time to see what worked best, but I think I started with 7 a.m. And I said, okay, I'm going to start at 7 a.m. I had a different job where I didn't start until 9, so I had a lot more time now in the morning. And I'd wake up at 7 a.m. and then I'd just do a little morning routine. I'd go outside and go on a 2 to 5 minute walk, like just walk down the block, 1 or 2 blocks, and then walk back. And then I would drink a bunch of water, and then I would stretch. And created this 10-minute routine, and then brush my teeth and shower and shave. And then I'd go to work, and I'd feel a little bit better throughout the day. Because it's like, oh, I accomplished something. My bed is made. My teeth are brushed. I ate something healthy for breakfast. Even if it was something really small, like a little Greek yogurt with a piece of fruit or whatever, right? Just even a couple hundred calories. Just get something healthy in your body. And I started building a lot of consistency from that. And when you build that baseline of consistency with a morning routine, you can just keep building on it. When you make healthy decisions in the morning, it just carries over into the rest of the day. It carries over into lunch. It carries over into dinner. Picture a day where you wake up and you get a donut or 2 donuts with coffee on the way to work. Or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or whatever your just like easy thing is for breakfast. You know, fast food on the way to work or whatever you're doing. Picture a day where you make that decision. What is the rest of your day like? How much more tired and sluggish are you in the morning or in the afternoon? How much worse do you eat for lunch and dinner, right? When we eat bullshit food for breakfast, we're a lot more likely to eat bullshit food for lunch and for dinner. One of the best things you can do for your own weight loss journey is build a consistent morning routine. This is one of the first things that I do with my clients, is teach them how to have some consistency, because if you don't have consistency, you'll never have self-belief. You absolutely cannot believe that you have what it takes to lose weight if you don't believe that you have what it takes to wake up at the same time every day. It doesn't need to be at the ass crack of dawn. It doesn't need to be at 4:30 in the morning like what I'm doing. It might be 10 a.m. Like you might go to bed at 3 in the morning, wake up at 10 a.m. every day. That's fine. It doesn't matter what time it is. You just need some consistency. If you're a swing shift worker, you start work at 3 and you wake up at noon, that's fine. Just wake up at noon every day and carry that consistency over into the weekends. This is the part that everybody fucks up, right? We get to the weekend and we think that we deserve to sleep 3 additional hours. It's like what we really deserve is to be healthy and to cultivate healthy mindset and positive feeling in our bodies. And the way to do that is to have more consistency when we wake up. As much as I talk about morning routine, like morning routines are such a fucking fad where you'll be scrolling on Instagram or whatever and all these influencers are like, here's my morning routine for wake up and journal 10 pages in gratitude. And, then I meditate for 10 minutes and then I do breath work and then I drink my cold brew coffee, 0 calories because I'm fasting and I wait until 1 o'clock in the afternoon to eat. It's like, okay, look, that's great. It doesn't need to be this long, dreadful, drawn-out thing where we just hate our mornings. You just have to practice doing the same thing every day. It could literally be a 5-minute routine. Start with waking up at the same time every day. It's one of the best things you can do to develop self-belief and to lose weight and keep it off forever. And develop momentum for your day. The way you start your day matters. Develop some momentum. I eat breakfast. And for so much of my life, I didn't. When I was fat, I never ate breakfast. I would just eat lunch and dinner, but they were massively unhealthy meals. So I was intermittently fasting before anybody was talking about intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is funny. It's basically just skipping breakfast, right? It's funny because when that became really popular in 2020, it was like right when COVID had started or the summer after COVID in June or July. It was all over the internet. Like fasting is the greatest thing ever. And all of these people, including myself, that were never really eating breakfast consistently, we were all like, oh my God, I've been doing that forever. I'm like this super healthy person. It's like, no, we weren't. We always thought that breakfast was the healthiest meal. And then one guy one time on Instagram said that we should all fast, and then it blew up, and then everyone started fasting. Here's the reality of eating breakfast. It's more sustainable for most people most of the time that are losing weight and keeping it off in a way that is sustainable and healthy to eat breakfast for a couple of reasons. One is it just starts you on a healthy note. It just makes you feel better about your day. You're making a healthy choice. If food is something that you're working on, instead of pushing off your decisions to eat lunch or dinner, make a healthy decision for breakfast. You'll be much more likely to eat a healthy lunch and a healthy dinner. The second thing is when you don't eat breakfast and then you get really hungry come lunch, you're more likely to make an unhealthy decision for lunch because you'll be really hungry. So is intermittent fasting the solution for weight loss? It depends on the person. Some people are different. Give yourself permission to try it and see what works for you. The benefit of intermittent fasting is you'll have more time. When you spend less time eating, you have more time to do other things. But if you're working on relationship with food and eating healthy, the solution isn't to eat less meals. The solution is to practice eating healthy foods. And a great way to do that is by starting your day in a healthy way. Again, intermittent fasting works for some people. I intermittently fasted for a long time, and I found that through intermittent fasting, I was actually eating more calories throughout the day because I was eating bigger lunches and bigger dinners that made up for the deficit that I wasn't eating for breakfast. So if I'd skip a 400-calorie breakfast, I would end up eating an additional 300 calories for lunch and an additional 300 calories for dinner. Whereas if I would have just eaten a small breakfast, then I would have been in a calorie deficit in a way that felt way better for me. And so I recommend eating breakfast for most people. But if it doesn't work for you, then intermittently fast, and that's fine. Write down your morning routine. So much of this is like just listening to someone on a podcast, watching people make low-calorie, high-protein recipes. Oh, that's great, Nick. That's great that you are consistent with your wake-up time, but I can't do that because I have kids. Well, okay, I get it. I don't have kids, right? Or, Nick, it's hard for me to do that because I'm a swing shift worker, or I have inconsistency in my work schedule. Yep, that's totally understand that. But you need to step into action in a way that makes sense for you. Unless you're one of my clients, I don't know your specific situation. So take this opportunity to pause the podcast or while you're listening to the rest of this podcast and write down the healthy version of you, right? We think that we're going to be healthy when we lose weight, once we hit our weight loss goal. It's not true. You've got to be healthy to hit your weight loss goal. You got to be the healthy person now. So that healthy person that you want to be, the skinny person, right? If that's the word that you're using that you want to be, the person that prioritizes their health. What do they do in the morning? When the alarm goes off at whatever time you pick, do they snooze the alarm or do they just count down from 5 and then get out of bed and just imagine a rocket ship's going to blast off? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here I come, world. Sit up. No snoozing. The first thing you got to do is get the fuck out of bed, right? So write that down on a piece of paper. Step 1 to a morning routine is get out of bed. Step 2 is go to the bathroom. Step 3 is drink water. Step 4 is get outside or move your body, even for 5 minutes. You don't have to do a workout in the morning, but activate your body. Remind yourself that you're here to move. We're not living sedentary lifestyles. Even if you work in an office, then you're sedentary a lot, but you've got to move in the morning. And when you move in the morning, it's just going to increase your mood. Step outside for 5 minutes, go on a 2-block walk, and then come right back. Brush your teeth. Eat something healthy. For me, go-to breakfast, still to this day, it's been years of eating this, is just a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, a cup of frozen blueberries, a tablespoon of cacao powder, and honey. Maybe more honey than I should be eating. I really like honey. And I start my day with that. Sometimes I'll throw in an apple. Sometimes I'll throw in a little cube of raw cheese or something like that, depending on what I'm feeling. But it's just a 300 to 400 calorie breakfast. It doesn't make me feel like shit. And it gets me energized versus eating like a biscuit, right? So if you're just counting calories and counting protein, then you might eat sausage with bacon with a biscuit and get 500 calories and get some protein in there. But imagine how you're going to feel after you eat that, right? And when you eat a bullshit breakfast, that's not even the right word. That's not necessarily a bullshit meal. When you eat a breakfast that makes you feel sluggish after you eat it, you just start your day on a tired note. And when you start your day on a tired note, you show up to work in a way that's a little bit worse. You're just a little more sluggish. You're a little less focused. You have worse conversations. You feel a little worse about yourself. You have a little bit of indigestion, a little bit of heartburn, a little bit of headache, and then you just don't sleep that well the night before. Right? So write out that morning routine. If you get anything from this podcast, write out what your morning routine can be like and then do it tomorrow. If you're someone that's really inconsistent, the way that I used to be with everything, but especially with your morning routine, you're going to be pretty fucking tired the first day. So if you sometimes wake up at 6 a.m., sometimes at 10 a.m., and then you set a goal, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. 7 days a week just to see how I feel, you're going to be pretty tired for the first 1 or 2 days. Give yourself permission to be tired. Like, what would it look like if when the alarm went off at 7, you were super tired, if you actually said to yourself in that moment, I give myself permission to get out of bed even though I'm tired. And a great way to do that is to give yourself permission the night before. Take a video of yourself saying, if you're tired tomorrow morning, I give you permission to get out of bed either way. And then all you got to do when you wake up is commit to watching the 5-second video. You can decide whatever you want in that moment, but when you watch the video, your ass is going to get out of bed because it's going to help you realize the disconnection. It's going to help you realize that how you feel in this moment, the tiredness, won't exist once you get up, right? And that dread that you wake up with, as soon as you get outside and you just take a breath and put your fucking arms up, look up in the air and just say out loud, I'm a fucking human. I'm a human being and I'm here to live and I'm here to contribute to whatever the fuck it is that you do with your life and whatever you've committed your life to. And I'm glad I'm here. This morning kind of sucks. I'm tired, but I'm glad I'm here. And then you step back inside, you're going to feel so much better just by smiling. Like, make yourself smile when you go outside. Force a smile. Try to force a laugh if you can. And just get sun on your skin or get wind on your skin or whatever that looks like. And it's going to start your day in a way that's more positive. And you know what you're not going to do when you step outside and you feel more positive? You're not going to come inside and eat a fucking cinnamon roll. You're just not. You're going to come inside and making a decision that is in your own best interest will be a lot easier because you'll feel better about yourself. The issue with obesity, the issue with negativity, the issue with inconsistency is that when you feel bad about yourself, you try to source positivity from food. That's what coping is. So when you're fucking tired, man, I'm tired, I feel like shit. It's not just I don't have time to cook or I'm too tired to cook. It's I'm tired, I kind of feel like shit. You know, I'm just low energy and my head hurts. And like, food sounds good because when you're eating the food, you're not focused on your tiredness and your own existential dread and your own hatred towards whatever is happening and your own negativity. You're just focused on how good the food feels. This is why obesity has so much less to do with what you are eating and so much more to do with what you are doing with your life and why you are eating the food. Let me say that again. Obesity has less to do with what you are eating and more to do with why you are eating it. Are you eating the bullshit food because you're tired? If so, are you tired because of your inconsistency in sleep schedule and wake up time? Probably. That probably has something to do with it. And everybody has circumstances that are different, right? You might have 3 kids and the morning routine is tough with your kids. That makes sense. How can you incorporate your kids into your morning routine? I have a few clients right now that are mothers, and this has been a struggle in the very beginning until we've started to really build it out. Now they take their kids on a 5-minute walk with them in the morning, right? So initially there's a lot of resistance. Well, it's hard because I have kids. It's totally fine. How can we include the kids in the morning routine? How can we help the kids step into action too? They benefit and they feel good having some positive memories with their mothers or their parents or whatever that are healthy. And then the kids have better days with their consistency in their wake-up time. And you're leading by example by enforcing a little bit of structure in the house that benefits everyone. And everyone's just in a better mood. So my morning routine now is 4:30 a.m. I've been doing that the last few days. It might be a little early for me, but in a way it feels good to wake up that early. I think I'm going to settle on 5:30 or 6 after I'm done with the week of doing this. So much of the morning routine, right, as much as me or anyone else talks about morning routine, comes down to nighttime routine. When's the last time someone talked about a nighttime routine? Again, it doesn't need to be this fucking long, drawn-out thing, but you need to have some sort of consistency to something that helps you go to bed a little bit earlier. You're never going to be able to keep waking up early unless you start going to bed earlier. Way easier said than done for most people, right? But a nighttime routine, mine is really, really, really simple and really basic. I don't drink water for 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed, so I don't have to wake up and go to the bathroom. when I get ready for bed, I turn all the lights down in my place, and I go and I floss and brush my teeth and wash my face with warm water, and I stretch for 3 minutes. And then I lay down in bed and I fall asleep instantly. And that's my whole nighttime routine. There's consistency. Again, notice it's not, and then I journal, and then I gratitude, and then I blah, blah, blah. And then you just start dreading going to bed. Like when you just stack everything up and it becomes about things that you have to do. Now I have to do this before I go to bed. Now I have to do this when I wake up. That just starts to suck. Weight loss doesn't have to suck. Consistency doesn't have to suck anymore. What's the minimum thing that you can do right now that's going to help you be a little bit more consistent? What if you just stretched before bed for 3 minutes and you just woke up at the same time every day, 7 days a week, including the weekend? If you did those two fucking things, you would consume less calories naturally without even having to fucking overly focus on food. You're just naturally going to be making healthier decisions because you're going to feel better. You're going to lose weight over time. You're going to have more mental energy to put into paying more attention to your habits, and you're going to have a framework that you can build on. So give that a try and watch how much more sustainable your results become and how much easier your fucking life becomes just by waking up at the same time every day. There is no best morning routine. The best morning routine is whatever you can do consistently that you don't fucking hate. Now, when it comes to working out in the morning, a lot of the times people will do workouts in the morning. Again, it totally just comes down to how you want to structure your day. I like walks in the morning. I preach walking in the morning. To do a short walk in the morning helps you just set the foundation for healthy choices. Some people do their full workout, strength training, gym session, or running, or any other workouts they might be doing. I really, really enjoy lifting weights later in the day because it's something that I look forward to. I used to fucking hate going to the gym. Something that people don't talk about is when you start going to the gym more and more and you get stronger and you start feeling better and looking better and meeting people in the gym, it becomes something that you enjoy. So it's like, I want to wake up and have that be one of the last things I do because I look forward to it. So I typically go to the gym and work out later in the afternoon. But if you're really just not liking your workouts, this concept of getting the thing done that you don't want to do in the morning works for a lot of people. So you might experiment with that as well. If you're just starting to work out and you really don't like it, once you wake up and do your 10-minute morning routine, you might play around with doing your 15 to 20-minute home workout or whatever that looks like right after that so that you don't have to dread it for the entire day. So we don't want you to dread your morning routine, but we especially don't want you to dread your whole fucking day by pushing off the shit that you don't want to do until later. So if you're hating working out and you're trying to find a way to like it, just do it first thing in the morning so that you don't have to fucking think about it all day long. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You absolutely have what it takes to build a consistent morning routine. You absolutely have what it takes to wake up at the same time every day. And you absolutely have what it takes to get better sleep and to feel better in your own body. And these things are really going to help you lose weight. And they're really going to help you change your lifestyle so that you can actually keep the weight off forever. If you made it to the end of the episode, the best thing you can do to support me, to support our community, and to support what we're doing here on Instagram, what we're doing, we're on this podcast, what we're doing is we're combining mindset work with weight loss. What we're doing is we're taking these concepts of self-improvement and we're making them about weight loss. We're not teaching counting macros. I'm not telling people how to count calories and protein and fats and carbs and what time to eat during the day and what kind of food they should stop eating. We're teaching how to instill common sense framework, how to lose weight in a way that isn't a total pain in the ass so that you don't fucking hate it and then end up quitting and gaining the weight back or never even hitting your goal in the first place. So if you resonate with that message, please leave us a rating anywhere from 1 to 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, or any of the other ones. It's the best thing you can do to support the show and to help us get this message out to other people that also need to hear it. See y'all next week.